I feel like I went through this sort of arch graph. I forget the technical name for it, but the graphs that have the slant up and then it arches and then it comes back down, whatever that shape is called. And then I felt like I learned too much and then I started to decline. And I almost wish I could go back to simple Reformed faith, but I can't because I feel like I've learned too much. But when I was certain of those things, I felt comfort, like I can fall back on this. I know that this is true. And sorry, this is really upsetting me apparently. I think another struggle for me too, especially in the assurance thing, is I never had a clear conversion moment where I was like, yes, this is certainly when I came to Christ. And so that's hard for me because I can't look back and be like, that was before and this is after. And the reason why that's difficult is because it makes me think, have I even been saved? If I don't have a moment that I can look back on. And what I tell people when they ask me that question, other people who go through the same struggle, people that were raised in the faith, raised in the church, and they're like, well, I don't have a conversion moment. The thing that I say is like, I know whom I have believed, and I believe that he is able to keep me. I believe in him now. Do I need a before and after moment? And I can think of milestone moments, I call them. Maybe I'm just not admitting that one of them is a conversion moment, but I can think of milestone moments. And I look back on, milestone moments as in, this was the time when I prayed differently. This was a time when I understood that it was Christ's faithfulness and not mine that saves me. This was when I first really understood the concept of to the glory of God alone. This is when I decided I was sick of living for myself and just letting myself feel like I deserve anything. And this was when I got baptized. I think of all these progressive moments. I wish I had a moment that I could look back on. And in fact, the first moment that I think of is in 5th grade when I was 10 years old, and I remember talking to my Sunday school teacher about this same issue, just saying, I feel like I have to repent over and over and over again because I don't feel like God has forgiven me yet. And I remember her telling me, once it's done, it's finished, And I remember leaving feeling comforted, but was it a false comfort of just hearing what I needed to hear and not an actual, salvation? And then with how much work it feels like lately I guess for me, the reason why questions like these cause so much doubt in my mind is because, because it is a relationship. I feel like I know something about this being that I love deeply, and then a wrench gets thrown in what I know. And I think, who even are you? What? I thought you were this. How can I trust you? How can I trust that anything that you've said to me is true when this seemed so certain? And now I don't even know if you're going to hold me until the end. Because I know if it's reliant on my faithfulness, I'm going to fail. And I'm so afraid of that. And it's so exhausting to come to the Word and to beg God to just say something, make me feel something, make me grasp something, and then it just is dead air. And I think did I not confess something right? Did I not do something right? Anyway, I'm really starting to lose it now, but, so having all these doubts on these passages that were once so clear to me, it just makes me question everything. And then coming to learn about other religions even more deeply and the tenets of different ideologies and hearing the different views on things like inclusivism and all these different things and hearing the cases for those. And people can come to these conclusions from a biblical standpoint. So what's even true anymore? Why even try to fight for a relationship with this God that doesn't seem to want to reciprocate, to his own daughter. It's just like, and I'm sure a lot of it has to do with my parents, fighting for my parents' attention and approval, and trying to feel like they care about what I have to say, and that they're not going to criticize me and just ignore me and brush off their hand and say, I don't care to hear, like, just continue what you were doing, like, I don't want to know. But I can't help but consistently feel like that's true. And experience does matter. That's the thing, it does matter. I don't want to just rely on head knowledge, I want to have the love returned from the God that I've loved so deeply. As time goes on, I want to be able to say, I know you better than I did a year ago. And it seems lately, I feel like I know you less than I did a year ago. And I even wonder if you're anything like who you say you are, or if you are just this general universe God that manifests in different ways. And if so, what am I supposed to do with that? Part of me thinks I'm not walking away from the faith just from my own stubbornness because I don't want to admit that I'm wrong. And that scares me, So yeah, like I said, it's basically the historical figure of Jesus. Just the fact that he existed, and that's not up for debate, and that there's plenty of historical records that verify his death and even his resurrection. That's really the only thing that I have sometimes, but yeah, man, my relationship with God just feels so strained, and I question my salvation all the time. I go to meet God, and I just don't think he's going to meet me there. I feel like I'm going to show up at the door, and he's not going to open it, or I'm going to show up at the agreed upon meeting spot, and I'm going to be like stood up, It's hard.